I touched briefly on Barbarian here. Like I said, I did do a 5-minute movie review, so if you want to check that out, you can. With this movie, I think the best thing for you guys is to go in it knowing just about nothing. Now, I'm very careful to spoil absolutely nothing in there, but it's one of those movies that you have no clue where it's going to go. And it's not in an M. Night Shyamalan twisty kind of way. It's just like, wow, that's not what I got from the trailer at all. But for once, it's a good thing. Usually the trailer, you think you're getting something, you go to the theater and you get something else and you're disappointed. I don't think so this time. Really, really good. Bill Skarsgård, Georgina Campbell, Justin Long are all just brilliant in it. And I don't know the actor's name, but there's another character in that movie that is absolutely terrifying. So I'll put it that way. This is the first horror movie in a long time, guys. It kind of had me putting my hand up to kind of cover the screen because it got me a little freaked out. And I think that's probably the first movie since The Ring, like 20 years ago, to actually, give me the heebie-jeebies a little bit while watching. So it's on HBO Max now. I hope you guys will check it out if you get the opportunity to. Please don't get spoiled because I think it would absolutely crush the effectiveness of that movie if you knew anything about it going into it. Kind of wanted to touch briefly on this 1899 on Netflix, this trailer. Now, this is by the showrunners who did Dark. And I think Dark is one of the best science fiction shows of all time. I thought Dark was absolutely perfect. It was so tightly written. That story was just amazing beginning to end. And I think them knowing where they were going from the very beginning of it helped them do that. It gave me all the resolutions that I hoped Lost would give me. It actually did it, though, and following like 3 different timelines. But as for 1899, I watched a trailer, no idea what's going on. And you know what? That's great, because I trust this writing team. They know what they're doing, and I am here for it. I know there's like trailer breakdowns, but I don't think anybody has any idea what this is about, but it looks just as freaky and in the same vein as Dark. So I will be giving that a shot for sure. Now I've been bombarded, guys, with... Remember that weekly update when you said if Doctor Who ever degenerated back into David Tennant or Matt Smith that you'd be back on board? Well, guys, you called my bluff. Yes, I did see that Jodie Whittaker did regenerate, and instead of it being the new actor whose name I can never remember how to pronounce, so I'm not even going to try, as expected, it actually degenerated back into David Tennant. Now, here's the thing with that is... Sure, I'm going to check that out because, I love David Tennant. If it's David Tennant or Matt Smith, I will check that out. I know it's just going to be a few episodes before they do officially go to the new Doctor. And they knew they needed to do something because their ratings are on life support. And they need to try to make a gesture to the fans that they've lost along the way. And I've talked at length about why I left Doctor Who. I don't want to get back into it now because it's always misconstrued and I get a bunch of accusations thrown at me. And again, like I said, Jodie Whittaker wasn't the problem, guys. Chibnall was the problem. So I think Chibnall leaving is addition by subtraction. Obviously, Russell T Davies made some of my favorite Doctor Who episodes ever. So I would like to give it a chance. But guys, they have to win me back. And they have to win me back not with cheap nostalgia. That's the Disney Star Wars method. Oh, this is really flailing. Let's bring in Cad Bane, or let's bring back a de-aged Luke Skywalker or something to get people interested again. I feel like that's all this is. Too little, too late with me with Doctor Who. Look, the last writing team just completely obliterated the lore. They just assassinated what the show was about. It wasn't fun to watch anymore. And I just don't believe it can change overnight like that just by bringing back David Tennant. It'll be huge. The ratings will be huge for it. And people will be like, Doctor Who is back. Let's see how it retains after David Tennant leaves again. Which, I won't lie, I feel like it kind of cheapens it. Like, imagine, let me put it in terms that some people can understand here. Imagine if the MCU brought back Robert Downey Jr. just for him to leave again a movie later. You're going to feel like that ending that he had in Endgame was robbed from you, right? It was taken away. It's going to take that moment away. So I feel like the very famous I don't want to go David Tennant scene's kind of been robbed now. It doesn't have the same weight anymore. And that's a bad thing in my opinion. So look, I'm for nostalgia as much as anybody else. Gen X, we love nostalgia. We're all about it. But it has to have meaning and it has to not take away from other things. So again, I'm not saying I will never be back on board the TARDIS ever again. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying you're going to have to do something to get me to keep watching after Tennant leaves again. So, of course, I'll check this out. I mean, my 10-year-old saw it, and he was, like, absolutely blown away, and he can't wait now. He loved David Tennant. So, sure, we'll check that out. But as far as me being back permanently, I doubt it. I doubt it. But we'll see. We'll see. I never say never, you guys. And before I go, James Gunn. You guys know I'm a fan. I love the Guardians of the Galaxy. I've been following James Gunn's career since Slither, way back. I don't even remember how long ago that was. But I think that James Gunn is an incredible filmmaker. His humor doesn't land with everybody, but it does land with me. I think he's really, really awesome. And so this news that he is going to be taking over, it's just called the DCU now, guys. They've already eliminated the extended, expanded part. I don't even know if it was extended or expanded. I always get this and the Star Wars EU like mixed up with that. So he's taking over DC Studios at Warner Brothers. Now, on paper, this sounds like a dream come true. This sounds amazing. They've always needed a true architect, someone who understands comics, which he does, and someone that they're going to listen to. That's always the thing with me with Warner Brothers, is they will hire the right people sometimes. Like, they even had Jeff Johns in house one time. And it's just like they don't listen to them. Always like they'll get down to crunch time and they'll be like, oh, well, we don't know how we feel about this. We're getting nervous, so we're going to just make a executive decision and completely crap all over. I mean, look what happened with Suicide Squad. All the screenings of that, everybody said David Ayer had just made an amazing movie. And then they recut it by the people who made the trailer. And the movie was a disaster after that. So, I mean, it's just one of those things where I want to believe. I do, because I would love to see the vision that James Gunn has for DC films. I don't even know what to call it anymore. I'm a big DC Comics fan. I would love to see the characters I love get the respect and care that they deserve. But I do think it's amazing that in a span of 24 to 48 hours, we got the news that Henry Cavill was back as Superman. Happily. He made a video on Twitter and Instagram happily about how he's very excited to talk about what's coming. So we're finally going to get a Man of Steel 2. And, of course, now the James Gunn news. So, yeah, I'm excited about it. But, you know, it's cautious optimism because I've never trusted Warner Brothers. I haven't. I hope at this point they say, what have we got to lose? Let's just let him try to do it his own way. My opinion, still the only way to do this is Flashpoint. Reset everything. That way you can keep the character, the actors in roles that you want to keep. Like if they want to keep Gal Gadot, they can do that. You know, they can do that with a reboot of the universe, and it doesn't make a difference. Because, guys, I would love to see this just started from scratch and re-implement everything in a build-up to Sinestro Corps War and Blackest Night Green Lantern. That's my pipe dream, is that they finally give my boy Hal Jordan some respect. I would love to see it made. So, James Gunn, look, I mean, I won't lie, the sun is shining a little brighter in regard to how I feel about DC on film right now. But I'm just still so worried they're not. He's going to start to put in his methodology, and they're going to get spooked right before release, and they're going to do what they always do, and they're just going to step all over it and just take a big crap on it. So it's one of those things where I trust James Gunn. I do not trust Warner Brothers Studios. So prove me wrong, guys. Please, I would love to be proved wrong on this. But, guys, that was my week. How did your week go? Why don't you drop in the comments and let me know, and have yourselves a safe and very happy Halloween.